Do you think that modern life isn't enjoyable? Do you have a sense of impending doom? Do you feel that humanity is walking off a cliff? What if I told you that you were right? And if you live in any one of these privileged countries, your society might be facing a total collapse. And you may think that I've certainly made a mistake, or I'm becoming senile, because these countries are widely considered the most secure and safest places to live. Let me explain. As we all know, the number of people on Earth has boomed over the past few hundred years, rising from an estimated 1 billion in 1804 to 7 billion in 2017. Throughout this time, concerns have been raised that our numbers may outgrow our ability to produce food, leading to widespread famine, with many economists saying that once we reach 10 to 12 billion people, much of the human populace would die off due to a lack of resources. Now you may be confused and wondering why I didn't show poor countries that have less resources while talking about the collapse of countries. Well, my friends, what if the problem isn't a lack of resources, but instead an extreme abundance of them? This takes us to Universe 25, an experiment which began by John B. Calhoun asking this same question. In this experiment, he gathered 4 mouse breeding pairs and put them in a perfect environment. The environment was created to prevent issues that could result in death in the wild, such as diseases and predators. With unlimited food, water, and nesting materials, the group of healthy mice were expected to flourish and grow in numbers, and they soon did. The mice soon began having excessive amounts of intercourse, and the population would double every 55 days. And this would go on until the population hit 620, which then slowed to only doubling every 145 days. It was at this point that cracks were beginning to appear in the mouse society. The mice soon started forming groups, and the males who didn't find a role to fill in the mouse hierarchy would gather in the middle of the enclosure and become extremely aggressive to other mice and even each other. These males were easily distinguishable from others due to their large battle scars from constantly beefing with all the other mice. This hostility soon spread to female and alpha male mice, with alpha males raping both male and females regularly. The entire utopia was crumbling down. Mothers started abandoning their children, and infant mortality rose to 90%, meaning only 10% of newborn mice would reach adulthood, so 1 in 10 would make it. Most mice were also uninterested in mating, resulting in a very low birth rate. The remaining mice would retreat to the upper deck of the enclosure, with violent gangs of mice forming on the floor. The population peaked at 2,200, but soon would decrease all the way to extinction due to infant mortality reaching 100%, so all the new children would die. Now, why do you think I told you this story? And no, it wasn't for shits and giggles. Most of the events that lead to the downfall of our beloved mouse society can be seen in modern societies around the world. Here are 3 ways we relate to these mice. So the first sign, when I said most mice were uninterested in mating, resulting in a low birth rate, what are we seeing now, folks? Our birth rate is at an all-time low with a decline of 50% in 70 years. And a good way to see if you're having enough kids in a society is to compare the amount of adult diapers sold to baby diapers sold. And now we're seeing this in Japan. They're selling more adult diapers compared to baby diapers. And that's just one of Japan's many issues. Which takes us to sign 2, which is increased violence and crime, which has been mainly in large cities. But even in my small town in Canada, just in the last month, there's been 2 stabbings, both in low crime areas of the city. Recently, there's also been a large increase of random attacks. In one instance I read about in Vancouver, some guy is just walking past a woman and he takes out a hammer and bashes her in the head. This is in broad daylight and caught on CCTV cameras. Doing something with no reason is the definition of insanity. So this guy just walking past a woman, hitting her with a hammer for no reason is by definition insanity. So yeah, it's just unbelievable. There's insane people in our streets. Now, let's go to sign 3, which is increased homosexuality. 10 years ago, I didn't even know what a gay person was. It was such a foreign concept. But now, I see at least 4 of them in a day. So yeah, a lot of these things are only happening in very wealthy and privileged countries, except the birth rate, which is happening globally. So what does this mean? Are gays a sign of societal collapse? Can we save ourselves? Are we no better than mice? Well, my friends, at the end of the day, mice are just mice. So who knows what the future has in store for us? But I believe with our collective intelligence, adaptability, and perseverance, we can overcome anything. Thanks for watching, and have a great day, folks.